Good morning, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Let me rename myself here.
You're not Jeremy.
No, I don't even want to pretend to be. Let me. You should be co-host now.
Oh, thanks. Do you mind if I play? Because I'm going to pull up my notes on one side and then see how you guys see it quickly, just so
Yeah,
that
yeah. No,
I
please,
think I have an idea what it's going to do, but I just want to make sure.
please do. I'm gonna pause the recorded here. You guys showed up on time, so no sense in punishing the ones on time. Um, So we have Jennifer Wolinski on our call today. Jennifer's been working with us at the leadership level. When you see me posting the blogs, Jennifer has written those based on our conversations, what kind of what the company's looking for, the agents are looking for, that kind of thing. She, without us really knowing it, unless you were, just noticing it, she's taken over our Google, our LinkedIn, our Facebook posting regularly, doing it the right way. So we're really gaining strength on those pages. So, and Jennifer was kind enough to join us this morning and sort of kind of help us at the agent level with kind of trying to make some sense about just a little bit of everything. So we're going to kind of let Jennifer do her thing. If you do have questions, either throw them in chat or we will have time at the end for Q&A. So otherwise we're going to kind of just let Jennifer roll with it. And I am assuming, Jennifer, that this is going to be a note-taking presentation. So just have a piece of paper ready, jot some notes down, but certainly we'll have time for questions at the end. So I am going to, I'm going to turn it over to you, Jennifer.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Dwayne. My name's Jennifer. For you guys who are in Ohio, I actually spend a lot of time in Cincinnati. Currently, I'm in Brooklyn. I am a marketing consultant, but I work remotely and I have for years prior to COVID. And I've worked with many sales teams recently, helping them drive leads. So I've been doing this a long time. But what I learn is that everyone likes to do social media and marketing, but aren't quite sure what the foundations are. So we're going to start there today because I know when talking to Jeremy and them, if you don't have a foundation, you're trying to hit a lot of things. And that can be kind of cumbersome if you're trying to do it for yourself. So one of the funny things that I talk about, I think Wayne's heard me talk about, and them have heard me talk about, is that there are like 6 billion internet sites in this world, and we're inundated all the time with it. And I don't think people realize how crazy that really is. So I'm going to start with something really silly, but that there are the 3 top websites that Facebook has. And we're going to see if you can remember them. So in the general world of marketing, we have 6 seconds to make an impression. And the top 3 websites in Facebook are going to pop up, and you're going to have 6 seconds to remember all 3 of them. And we're going to do them 6 seconds in repeat. I'm only showing this demonstration is because this is how quick our lives are. We are constantly inundated by it. So we see on an average in one day 5,000 different ads. And the idea of that is that you're trying to make an impression and gain a lead or gain a customer or keep a client, and you have literally 6 to 8 seconds to do so. So we're going to use what I'm going to do is teach you how to use the back ends of the algorithms of these social media sites and your website to get there. The last one was Michael Jackson. And the reason I throw that up there is that is actually the amount of time you see in a scroll. It's 3 seconds to make an impression. And I don't think we realize if you don't have a strategy to how you're posting that you're going to get lost. And it's kind of what happens with most people's social media and business development, because they're not realizing it's not just about posting, it's about using the back end of the internet to your advantage. These are some crazy stats. I'm sure with COVID, these are actually online video content is insane. But you guys do listings and watching videos. You guys have your own content. But I think it's up to 6 hours. I think it was up during the top of COVID, 9 to 10 hours a day of people watching videos and internet. So there's a running theme to have more animated GIFs and a little video content. Again, video content is only 6 to 8 seconds as well, which I think people aren't aware of, that it's actually that quick and what you can see unless it's a lead or you're waiting for someone to fall over. Come on. I've always watched them like the person who's about to fall in the pool. I wait. That's about the only time you get to that point. So it's an entertainment value in some sense. So we're going to talk about how to build it and the different ways to do that. So I'm going to say this out loud. I am not a fan of social media. It is what I do for a living. I don't like to read people's feeds. I get over inundated by other people's stuff. And clearly right now, going 3 months into election, no one really wants to turn on their social media sometimes because they don't want to hear everybody's rants. But they're still search engines. They're the top search engines. Twitter owns 4 different search engines. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's not like you get a lot of player leads from it, but posting on there allows you to build your search and show that you're an actual leader in your field. So what we're going to talk about is building how many times you post and how to bring it back to your site to drive leads. So if you're going to post, you want to post the same things on each site that you're currently in. So I don't care which ones you use, but we'll go over all of them and I'll explain how to do that in a second. So Twitter is one of them. But one of the cool things that social media went back to, which everyone needs to understand, is friends of a friend. So following people, even your competitors, and the things you read are how consumers see things. So realtor.com, because they're always on it. Following Coldwell Banker, I know that sounds corny, but following them means you're a friend of a friend. And when they buy, you can get some leads off of that because they're doing a purchase power that the internet knows. And then we'll say, well, this is the leader. We're going to throw that lead to this person as well. And you spent no money doing so. I'm not a huge fan of Instagram, but you're in a market of showing off houses. And there are pictures and videos in that. And what's great also about Instagram is that it's owned by Facebook. Twitter and Facebook and Google are the top search engines when it comes to pulling those informations across. So adding followers, and we'll explain that in a second, will organically pull all of your views back up. Let's talk about some other stuff. LinkedIn is usually a B2B play or looking for a job, and people have conceived notion, but they are a strong search engine as well. So posting on them or onto Pinterest will allow your post to see more gain because it will make a circular motion and say, these are all the places I'm encompassing, and it will show that you're smart in what you're speaking about. Pinterest also is, as I would call, next tier step. It is very intricate, but everyone uses it. My girlfriends who buy new houses constantly are posting pictures of what they want their kitchen to look like and then sharing them across. I'm sure you have consumers like that. So it is a good way later, after getting used to how to do social media, to get more leads as well. I leave on the bottom your website, like Wayne spoke. I know there's easy ways for you guys to share the posts that I'm doing. And by doing that, it's refreshing your content on your website. So a website and all of social media, there are so many sites out there that it takes almost 7 to 21 days, depending on what you're doing, for the search engines to read stuff and then categorize it. So if you don't refresh your website often, what happens is you get lower down in the feed. And I'm sure every one of you have Google search something and you wonder how they perpetuate that lead feed. And by doing that, it's how you're talking out to them and how you speak to it. So I wrote a post about, fall holidays, and I tagged Ohio State football. Why? Because trending right now, they're playing football. It's a huge in the Ohio area. And by tagging them, it's saying, not only am I friends with this person, but it's something I'm interested in that will drive in my market. So when I post that on our social media links and on the website, what it does is make a circular motion that says, these are the items that are important to me, and drive people who have the same interest back to me, because these are the interests that I have. They're street sweeping right now, so I'm sorry if you hear that background noise. But refreshing it with your social media. I know your listings refresh, but because that's kind of a little bit of an automated system, you do want to even change the words on your website just a little bit, or add our blogs, and it will allow you to get better feed, and you will organically pull up on that search by doing absolutely nothing other than refreshing your content. And if you have something to talk about, I know that when you go into a house, people probably ask you the same questions. I call Tip Tuesday my favorite thing in the world, because you can clearly build your tips through this. Everyone has similar questions with buying a house. So write that down. Say, I know the answer to this. And it's not like you're giving up the bread and butter of who you are and how you sell. You're just saying, I'm familiar that these are the questions we have, and that's how it works. So I actually threw a calendar up. I built strategic calendars for Jeremy and them, for the company, and for other people. I put up one on divorce and assault and a lawyer one, so you guys don't pick at it in the comments, but it shows you how I set it up. So every 2 to 3 weeks, you pick a theme. So on here it says divorce, but for this lawyer, we're going to post about divorce, and she's trying to pull more divorce leads to her thing. And by doing that, you're giving that, what we just talked about, that 7 to 21 days to cycle that information. I'm sure all of you've seen news that's late, and Facebook and them are trying to get those algorithms down, but you see a feed from 2 days ago and not realize it. It's because it's constantly driving that information in a rotation. And if you keep talking about the same subject, it will drive you in the organic pull higher up. So this one's a perfect example. This is actually a content strategy I'm doing for a lawyer in Atlanta about divorce and assault. She does criminal law. And this is her post schedule. When I say post schedule, you guys are going to post about listings and who you are all the time, which is great. But every now and again, you're going to have something that's curated, like we just talked about Ohio State, or what your vertical is, or maybe it's a great blog from Julia. What you're looking at and what people read drive back that content. So these posts are based on curated situations. So divorce, actually the post for November 3rd for her is an actual really celebrity divorce that's trying to be, not so negative. And it's trying to pull the feed from people.com into her site to drive more leads on people who possibly are getting a divorce. So I create a strategy every month. And what you need to know is that there are many sites called Buffer and other social media accounts that allow you to have up to 3 of your social media things attached. And then you can post up to 10 times without being charged. And it's set up. And so you can post like you normally do, but those curated posts, and you can do motivation quotes, you can do whatever you want. You're human, and your consumer is human. So the more they feel connected to you, maybe it's golden retrievers, maybe it's quotes, maybe it's Ohio State football. It doesn't matter. It could be something about over the Rhine. I eat there quite frequently and love the restaurants there and the architecture. But those are all things that make you feel like you're part of something. And those connections are what basically is networking digitally. So instead of going to that restaurant event that you did, or remember how you do that hand-to-hand shake at a business event, digitally, that's what we're trying to establish. You're trying to establish the likes between people so that when you personally talk to them, they feel a connection with you and want to use you as a real estate agent. As for adding followers, everyone likes a friend, but you can actually like as a page. And I highly recommend doing your competitors. Every month when you set up your posts or whatever you want to do, add followers. Twitter only allows 50 a day, but even with LinkedIn, follow your competitors, follow your community feeds. These are all things I've done for most of your sites, as it is for your franchise sites. They're now following all the specific leads in Florida, Ohio, Cleveland, Columbus, no matter what it is. They also are following all of realtor.com, Trulia, all of the places, HDTV, tiny houses, you name it, because you have an eclectic consumer base. You have to broaden your search to narrow it down to who they want to use. And by broadening that out, you're saying I'm a leader in this. And it goes back to a friend of a friend. And that means you're not going to have to spend money. Your post will then start showing up to the people who have the same relevant information. I'm not saying this is an instantaneous plan. I've explained this to Jeremy and them. What it does is create a foundation so that in 3 months, when you do these things, it will drive leads automatically. Sorry, I can't actually see my presentation notes when I do it this way. I think this is a fun little thing, just so you all know. YouTube is also on my Google. I will start building content in that as well and sharing it along that you can share. The top YouTuber right now is Ryan. He is 7 years old. I'm not kidding you. He is the top leader follower of this. He's super cute. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but what he basically does, he gets to play toys, then reviews them. He's the top YouTuber. I'm not saying you need to be an influencer or not, but it's very easy to use these algorithms to your advantage. And this is a simple example of how easy it is. And his videos are quick and short. There's nothing too exciting about them, but he's entertaining the clientele. Note also when you're doing stuff with what you guys do, there are boxes to click when you're selling a home in social media. If you ever do an ad, do specify that. It will allow the ad to go out, and we'll talk about that in a second. But you're in a very specific market where they do want to know that you're selling a house. So, and especially why I bring that up is in the kid realm. This is a very specific thing. You cannot, on YouTube, you have to say if it's kid specific. They're very specific, and they will, there are privacy concerns about it. But I do. So he's just cute. I'll tell you, it's just one of those things. But what I need you to remember, and why I bring up this video as well, is that he's human. He's a little kid and he sells. So one of the things I can tell you about your social thing is always be human, because that's what makes those personal connections. We're on to some other things that I went pretty quickly and I talked fast, so sorry about that, but I assume people are gonna have some questions. I know this went out the other day. This is an idea for you guys to keep an engagement of clientele and retention. We just talked about gaining leads, but there are also other ways to do so. We're talking about putting a recipe book together for the holidays with different recipes so that you guys can purchase it and hand it off as gifts to your clientele. I want to remind you, because I am helping with this, that send your recipes to Megan and we'll put them in there. It's a great present. Building leads is great, but I'm sure, as you all know, word of mouth references are probably the key of how you keep your customers happy. And I did send out some social tips about, you know, pumpkins and corny, things like that, but those little gestures go a long way. As I'm sure all of you do, but I've been building swag programs for a long time, and I know recipe books always are a good way to make a house a home. So that's something I wanted to bring up. And then things that are coming up. We've been working with Jackie on a feature agent promotion, and what I need you to know that coming up in the next couple months, by sharing and engaging in social media with us, you'll have the opportunity to win $250 toward business marketing. And in a very simple 4-week thing, we've got in front of, I think it's 50-mile radius of Jackie in Columbus, and she's reached 23,000 people very simply. And I want you to know that that's coming out today, so you guys can see ways to become another feature agent so that we can promote you and get some of your stuff out as well, as an added bonus to being an agent in the field with us. Some of the ads posted so you can see them. We did make some animation ones. The animation one does have a lot more play than just a regular listing because people ignore them. So we're trying new ways. And then on here, which is the blog, tips for working remotely from real estate agents, because you guys do it all the time and are constantly working from your car in multiple locations. It just shows you how much you get from that and how much engagement, and we'll write a piece based on something that you want to talk about as well. But here's some option ads, as you can see from that. And that is actually my quick presentation, because I'm sure I over-inundated and I talk too fast. But does anyone have any questions about, I think I can pull the chat up on here. Sorry, the presentation over it. John, I can see yours. Do we send out social media posts you can share? I would say right now, your best way to get additional pull is exactly what we just said. I'm already creating posts. So if you just share the ones that I'm posting to start, that's a great way to do it. And I would love to share some of your guys as well. You're basically saying that my franchise is saying this is good, and then you're doing the friend of a friend thing. So I would start by sharing original posts from us that we're starting to do, because that will help those. I also can I have a follow list of the ones we followed that I can hand off to you guys, of people you should be following in your market. But I would say that I'm not saying learning the real estate vertical, but I do this as a trick. If you Google alert real estate in your market, you go to Google and just, type in Google alerts, every morning it will tell you the top things in the internet that are talking about that subject. And what sometimes the easiest way to do is say it's a new sale of something, or if you're in commercial and they just sold a big building and you want to rent it, depending on what you're talking about, it will pop up in the feed and you can say, read this post, it was super interested. Or if it's HGTV and it's talking about holiday season stuff, you can actually just put that in and tag them in each of your feeds, and it will allow that every person who's looking at that feed as well into yours. It will say, okay, these are all alike. So neighborhoods, birds of a feather flock together. That is how advertising works on ad posts. So you want to make sure you're generating the easy ones to you, and then, refine the ones you want to do. So Jackie's out in Columbus. She likes barns and horses and things like that. Her feed's a little bit more specific because, of what she sells, but you can be very specific, but start generally and then hone in on the things that make sense so that you have the right foundation on the real estate side, and then you can add in those simple verticals. John, does that answer your question, or did you want me to be more specific? Okay. No problem. Anyone else have any other questions or concerns or?
Linda does post a lot of stuff as well too. If all of you are on Agent Hub Converse, there is a marketing template that's on there that there are a million different ideas. Also, all of your admins should be posting stuff. Linda posts stuff. I will post stuff. And we'll just make sure that we start adding this into the ERA Facebook pages at least. So if you're not already a part of your Facebook for the branch that you're in, make sure that you do join Facebook, and then it's just very easy that you can share that. And then you can also copy them and post them on Instagram or wherever else that you are. Also, ERA has a LinkedIn presence as well too. So if you are not linked with ERA and LinkedIn, make sure that you do that. And all of these posts are already for you. So all that you have to do is just share them as well. But the work's already done for you in most parts.
Wayne, did you want to show how to share the blog?
Yes. Yeah. Let me, real quick before I do that. Yeah. And Megan just kind of covered that. Like, I think it's so we can verify. I think it's so important that, like you had mentioned, liking pages, friending folks, the Caldwell folks, the realtor folks, all of that. Similar, like make sure you like all of our pages, and Megan said ERA, because that's what it shows up, and it's so easy to go, oh, ERA Real Solutions just posted about this, and I can share that. It comes to my page, but kind of makes that full circle. So I do think that that's so important. And one other thing before I go, that I love the calendar idea. So I'm a firm believer that if, getting a little older in my age here, if I don't put something either on a notepad or in my phone to say, do this, man, it's so easy. Weeks fly by. So, my version of that calendar can be a hard copy, or I can just go put, every, whatever it is, every fourth day, every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Thursday, and just put post, or post this, or go grab a post to share, things like that. So, and then it shows up in your calendar. You're like, oh, I got to do it. For me, that just works. But, I think it's so easy, for a week to go by, for 2 weeks to go by, and you go, oh man, when was the last time I posted? What should I post now? Like, kind of what's going on.
So Wayne, the best part about this, so everyone on the phone, I run multiple brands on Facebook, and I literally spend once an hour a day on them to set them up, let's say. But you can set up once every 2 weeks. You spend an hour in front of the television and just set it up. Follows in 2. You don't have to put in a business schedule. You can sit on and watch a movie with your kids and start following people. And then when it doesn't, and I warn you, Facebook allows about 10, and then it says you have to sign out again and sign back in. They know that that's the way to cheat the algorithm. You will get kicked out every about 10 likes. It is painful, but it works, and that's why they kick you out. So I want you to know, I know about that glitch. It's about 10 to 15 likes, and then it will tell you have to log out. All you do is log back in and like again. So know that like those are a little funky, but you can spend an hour every 2 weeks and just knock it out and it's done. And then you can just add as you go. And that's why the strategic thing works, Wayne. Like if you think it out, then you're not overthinking it. You can have those Google alert ups. You pull up that email, think ones are relevant. You can do throwback Thursdays, tip Tuesdays, pick any of the trends that are up and see from there. So I think in the chat it says, when we share existing posts, it has the same effect as posting ourselves. Yes, very much so. Shares are incredibly important for both sides for us and for you. Because then it knows that you're reading stuff and it will pull you up as a leader. Someone who's inactive on Facebook who doesn't post and their organic search pool is here. So the higher you want to be on there, the more you want to share. And that's why the 2 to 3 posts a week, it works to your advantage and very simple to set up. Kara says, how does the agent ensure they get a listing posted on the ERA page? Ooh, good question. I don't have an answer for. Wayne and Megan?
Let me, I'll talk, yeah, we'll chat on that, Kara, and just, obviously, you can post on yours, but you're saying to get onto sort of the ERA Real Solutions page, correct? As a new listing.
If you go on ERA's Facebook page, you will see kind of a handful of agents whose listings always show up on there, I guess, when they get a listing, but it's not everyone that's getting that. So I'm wondering how I would maybe like get mine, or another agent would ensure that theirs are on there as well.
So Kara, the other way to do this without asking them on how it's automatic, I mean, the automation feed, I'll be honest, confuses the crud out of me, and they know that. But one of the ways to do it, Kara, without even doing it, is tag us, because then it will show up in our feed. So if you tag your franchise or ERA Real Solution, whatever you want, if you tag us, it's the same thing. So what you do is you post your listing and you tag it to us, it's going to show up in the feed. And that's another way around it without having an automation.
Got it. It looks like the thing that's showing up on there is some kind of automation thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do either tag ERA or hashtag ERA on everything I do, so I don't know.
Okay.
But when I go
that's
to
good.
ERA, I don't see me anywhere, so it doesn't even look like I'm affiliated with the company.
I'll check on that with the ERA folks and just see, how it's happening. I can't imagine they're grabbing 2 agents and going with it. So we might just be either missing it or, however it works. But I made a note, so I'll check with that and get back to you for sure.
Yeah, and Wayne, I think it depends on the branch, because some of them are seeing them and some of them are not. I know in Grove City, every single one of the listings that go up, it's automatically on there. I know we were doing something, but I apologize, I can't recall. So we could both look into that too. But definitely Westchester, let's make that one a priority to make sure that one's up and running.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Megan and I will chat, figure that out, and then get back to you guys.
Rachel has a question. Is there a way that we could get a list of everyone's business pages to like so we all find each other? So Rachel, I know in LinkedIn and in Facebook, if you click on if you are an employee of the business. So like if I am an employee of ERA Real Solutions Realty, it will say here are the people. Like in LinkedIn, it says here are the people linked, and you can like every one of them. In Facebook, if you do link that you're a realtor and you're attached to the real estate thing, if those people are also there, it's a quick way into it. I don't know if you guys have a company list on the back end, but that's a quick way, Rachel, to start. And what happens is if you like Megan, and she has Jeremy and Wayne and everybody else, it will show up on the side, like, do you know these people? And you can start clicking. And that's an easy way. And also if you click on, I don't know, Trulia, and it says 5 things on the side, click on those, because those are like things and they already know that. The algorithm is saying these other 5 things are important. So,
Good question.
yeah.
Good question. Oh, there, Kara threw hers out. So,
yeah, some of you guys have
So
some funky
maybe we
ones.
should go through really quick and just show.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jennifer, if you'll just kind of just kind of re-chat about
Sure.
a tool like Buffer. So
Hmm.
Buffer allows you to, sort of create a free account and kind of just chat about that real quick, because I think it's so important that
Yeah.
again, something that can help us do this, so I don't have to think about it or worry about it every day.
Yeah. We're gonna. I mean, so everyone knows ERA has a Hootsuite. There are multiple ways to do this. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm sure the person on Buffer account I'm showing is what it is, but he doesn't care. So let me share your screen, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So Buffer is a CRM. So all you do is you go to the top. He has multiple ones, but you'll get 3. You write your post, and you click on an image, and then you customize it. So what happens is it's just a system that organizes your thoughts. You can see I am his social media manager. Everything's pre-posted. Sometimes it's a quote from motivation. He does mental health. Sometimes it's a Friday fact. This one's about Shark Tank. There's actually a theme to this. He's in sports psychology, so you can actually see in my thing, COVID for Division III sports athletes, how it's affecting them. Tip Tuesday is about psych, and then I schedule a random one that's a salesy one. Not all of it's salesy. It's just trying to drive athletes to his page that says that he is an incredible psychiatrist, and you can, schedule a free consultation with him. But here's a perfect example. There's 10. He's done it through till October 30th. I don't have to touch his account. He can add as he wants and does what he wants, but his social media is already preset through the end of the month based on the trends and the strategy that we just spoke. And it's really easy. You just sign in, you connect your 3 accounts, and then each of those weeks, all you do is pop down and pick the ones you want on, add the image, and then the custom file, it will say and tell you if there's any errors, and will allow you to schedule at the time you want. Does that help, Wayne? Have I seen
Yeah,
it?
exactly. So signing up, link your Facebook.
It will tell you to link.
Yeah,
you link the
so
3.
easy, and then sit down for an hour and just start grabbing some things. What do I want to talk about over the next 2 weeks? What do I want to focus on?
Yeah, and you can see it where it's set up, and you can see by month or week how many posts are out. And it's just, and also you can have gaps. If you don't post for a couple of days, not a big deal. Facebook actually gets kind of paranoid that you haven't posted and will repost your old posts. So if you give up for, 48 to 72 hours, don't beat yourself up. It actually helps the algorithm take. So you'll see that I will do these 2-day gaps sometimes, or maybe I'll blitz it for 15 days straight, but then I'll give him 4 days off. It all depends on what the topics are. I'll be honest, October is domestic violence and some sports stuff, so his is a little on the nose right now based on the topic, but this is how it's set up. You just preset it and he's done.
Perfect. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
John asked, with the Buffer, would you link your Facebook business page?
So yeah, and I even think I know he has the up plan, and I think it's $14 a month, but you can. I would say the ones you're not on. I would say your business pages first, but if you have more followers, even your consumers on your regular Facebook page, do your Facebook page first. If you have to pick the top 3, I would use one from each search engine. So he has on here Pinterest. Know that Instagram and Pinterest have issues. They knock off your links to curated posts because it's a photo driven concept. So if you're going to use Buffer and you have multiple accounts, I would go with Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn first. Those are the top 3 search engines that you're going to go after. And then you can manually do Pinterest or Instagram as you take pictures as you're going along, because those 3 will give you the most bang for your buck as you're tagging them. So even in here, you can tag things or do whatever. You can tag, see, I can't do it in Pinterest, but Facebook you can. You can see how Forbes is tagged. it will tag the ones that matter. So, and like
Perfect.
the New York Times here is tagged. And it's very simple. You say at, just like you guys were saying, and then and I use different hashtags for different things, but I will start setting hashtags off with, marketing tips if you want on the ones I would use each month. So.
Perfect. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to show you guys. So Jennifer had mentioned, sort of, tweaking your website here and there and kind of, sort of keeping it fresh. Listings, if you get a new listing, it will automatically populate on your page. So that's kind of one piece. So Jennifer does a blog for us every 2 weeks, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And I take the blog and get it into Zap, and you guys can easily, again, without just follow three simple steps, you could actually take that blog and put it on your website without, Zap will do it automatically. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a very powerful addition to your page, because the blogs on ours and the way it's backlinked to, to everything that Jennifer put in it. It's a very, very purposeful blog. It's not just throw some stuff on and, oh, I blogged, it's very good. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how to just syndicate our blog.
Yeah, content is king right now. So sharing content that is available to you is extremely important.
Okay. Well, I'm just signed in as Mike Rath from our Rocky River office. So in Leverage, just get to Zap. And in Zap, and we know the right-hand corner, your name brings up the website, so you can obviously tweak there. But the second one is blog. So this is where you could obviously write a blog. So, but the simple thing right here is knowing that we are, you're posting a brand new blog every 2 weeks. That's very purposeful. You can say, you can see on the left hand, write your own blog. Right on the right side, syndicate with ERA Real Solutions. So all I have to do is come down here, and if I just click start syndicating, I'm done. That's all I had to do. And now and actually brought in, it will bring in I think we've done 4. So you'll see syndication 4. It already brought those to your website. And the next time that I get one from Jennifer and add into Zap at the company level, soon as I publish it, it will publish to your personal website as well. And that's it. That's all I had to do to get that going. So,
All right. So Rachel, do the local and property insight counts as updating in your, it does to a point but let's Rachel, quick crow on automation. So I don't know how to explain this other than, if I'm making no sense, I'm sorry ahead of time, but there's like basically a computer that I'm sure people have heard it called, it's a spider, and it looks at stuff and it reads everything quickly and then categorizes it. So when something's automated, kind of like when you get asked if you're a robot, it's because they know there's certain things in there. They do count, but they're not going, my imagine is that because it happens so frequently, that the robot already knows that that's an automation because of how it works. This indicated, at least it will read it and know that it's new content, and it will say it's this. So even if you change like a picture on your website now and again, I'm just saying sometimes refresh it. I don't always think they're gonna count, but the more you do it, then those insights and automation count more. Because again, it's saying this website is paying attention and wants to be a part of it. Like, because you'll get lower down, like sites that, I have a client who has a site for 3 years and has no visits because Google has no idea where to put them. So I'm trying to rehash all of that in, because just because you put it up doesn't mean they come. So you have to refresh the content so everybody knows. So once a month, you take 1 hour and just play with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to read a little different, and then they'll know to categorize you higher. Yes, please, you can always write your own. Content is good, and even if you do it once a month, it doesn't have to be specific. If you read the content I'm writing, it's tips, it's saying out to other people. Your content has to be you. That's all I'm saying. You're selling you. So be yourself, because that's the best way to write a blog. John says that blog goes to our ERA site. Can we share it on other social media? Of course, I have that, and please do share it more frequently.
Yeah, John, and everyone else, I will grab, once we know it's published, certainly do the syndication piece, but either it's a post on the Agent Hub, which you would get notification for. I actually post, here's the link to the blog, take this and just send it to people, share it on social. And I believe that Rachel would probably grab that from, or somebody could grab that and post it on a Facebook page, for the agents as well. So there's multiple places you can grab that link for that blog and share away. All right. Seriously good stuff. Thank you guys for joining us. Does anyone else have, any other questions or comments?
Yeah, and also I am clearly working with you guys all the time. If there is topics, send them to Megan and Wayne. If you want to do another one on something specific like hashtags or how to do something, I did a quick overview, but I clearly know how to do a lot of other things. And if there's something that you guys want me to do another forum on, we can. We just started here. Because social media seems to be the easiest, but I'm telling you, in the next 3 months, if you set up this foundation and then write your strategy view 2021 based on that, you will be getting more leads and it will drive more business to your website. The point of marketing is to get the lead to you. You have to close it. It just is getting the consumer to you.
So
yeah,
I'm going to.
I love the idea of could I post something today and the right person see it and they go, oh, gee, can you help me? Of course. But, sort of building this as a plan, again, hook on the syndication. That's happening, and you don't have to, I don't have to stop in the morning and go, oh gosh, I gotta do this. No, let Buffer help you do this. And then when you're just posting occasionally, like congratulations to my clients. Those are bonus pieces, but sort of building that plan and having 2021 just be like the engine just rolling down the tracks, and you're just hopefully just collecting folks and seeing more folks, and more folks are seeing you. Kind of the concept behind it.
So I'm going to post a couple things today and tomorrow that can be shared on social media. I also encourage all of you guys, if you are using Agent Hub right now, to just go through. If you're not using Agent Hub, try to use it. Go through and just see in the tab that it says marketing templates, that there already are some things that are in there for you guys to utilize. If you have something that you have created on your own and you would like to share it, please also upload those into that. So, as ERA, we all work together. So let's, if something works for you, please share it with everybody else that they can use it as well too. And just upload that into the marketing so everybody can have access into it. And we'll send out information for everybody, especially people that are not on this call as well too. To ask them to do the same thing so we can all gain experience from each other here.
Yeah, and we did send out, Megan, if I remember correctly, like tips for October. So there was notes, and I'll keep every month I'll do notes for you. I know, just to give you guys tidbits, November's Veterans Days coming up and stuff. So that will have a theme in there, going toward the military and stuff like that. So every month I will say, like, here's the trends for this month, and we'll keep posting them so you have them as well. So you're not having to rethink the wheel.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Just so you know, Jennifer, we had the full gamut here. So we have Cleveland, Columbus, Cincy, Florida, office managers, office coordinators,
great,
the true mix. So in this, we'll get the recording link will get posted, shared on Facebook and emailed and things. So we know that more people will actually rewatch it or watch it for the first time that couldn't make it. So thank you so much for taking some time and helping
no
us
problem.
just a quick reminder, if you guys, want another one of these type sessions, similar to this, based, more specific on one topic, just reach out to Megan or I. And we meet with Jennifer regularly, so we can constantly get things from her. She can focus a blog on a certain thing, or hop back on a call like this, even if it's not, we can have a special call with her to to have her kind of continue our guidance, and maybe sort of we can all push towards a great 2021 on social, and kind of have a specific marketing plan that'll actually work for us. So please just let Megan or I know, and we'll go from there.
Also, please remember too, if you guys can you send me over recipes, any good holiday recipes that you have, so we can start putting that booklet together. And please, tell everybody in your office too, we want to put something together good for everybody. So whenever you get a second, you could just email it directly to me. That would work great.
Perfect. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jennifer.